Hari Om everyone. We're going to start the second session now. So to get us started, I'm going to invite Shri Kumar Swami Joshi ji to start us with an invocation on Lord Ganesha.
Om Sahanavavatu Sahanam Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vande Vigneshwaram Devam Sarva Vignadhidaivatam Antaraya Nivratyartham Tvam Namami Gajananam. Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Welcome all of you for second session of Ganesha Idol Worship. Subramanyam will instruct you. Please follow Subramanyam. Welcome Subramanyam for this session.
Okay. Thank you, Joshi Mama. Hari Om everyone. All right. Okay. Thank you all for joining today for the second session of the Ganesha Moorti making workshop at the online workshop. Before we get started on the actual process, I'm going to go through the material that you've been given for the workshop. Hopefully, you all were able to collect the kits, and so you should have the material. And I'm going to go through the material. So the first thing you should in the material you should have a bag of clay. You should have a bag of clay. Please make sure that the clay stays in the bag, and you just take a little bit as and when you need, and keep the bag closed so the clay doesn't dry out. Especially given that it's a very hot day today, the clay can dry out very easily. The second thing you'll find in your bag is it's a plate. You're going to make the Ganesha on the plate. So this is going to be the place where you're going to make the Ganesha. And then the third thing in the bag should be a small Ziploc with 3 or 4 pieces of black-eyed peas. So this you need when you're for the eyes of Ganesha. Okay, so you're going to keep that away for now. But then you keep the clay and the plate ready. I'm not going to be using this plate for this purpose. I'm going to use these 2 plates here. But you can use the plate that you've been given. And in addition to this, I would suggest have a small cup of water ready, because you will need the water when if the clay dries out or something. You should have the water handy to make it smoother and help with the dryness. Other than that, I would say have a few napkins ready in case the water spills or something else for some other purpose. And also make sure that you cover the work area with some kind of a tarp or plastic cover so that it doesn't ruin the carpet or the wooden floor. Okay. So I'm going to give a minute for you to get everything set up, and then we will start. We'll start the actual process of making the Ganesha. Okay. So I'll give you a minute for you to get set up. Thank you. No?
Plate.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು. Okay, so at this point we're going to start. So I have two plates in front of me because I am actually going to make two Ganeshas as I'm working through this, as we work through the workshop. The reason is I'm going to show you, with the first one how to make it, and then as you're working on it, I'm also going to work on the second one, so it will help you if you have any questions, because this is not very interactive, right? So we're going to try to make it a little bit easier. So if as I'm making the second one, you can still observe if there are some questions. You can observe to see if there are anything. Hopefully that helps clarifies any questions that you might have, right? So that's how we're going to do this. So I'm going to have two sets of clay, okay, one on each side here. So I'm going to make two Ganeshas. Okay. Also, remember that you have a limited amount of clay, right? So this is all the clay you have. So you're going to have to make sure that the clay that you use, you pace yourself and you have, so that you have enough clay left for the whole Ganesha to be made, right? So don't use too much clay. So I'm going to try to walk you through how much clay to use for each step. That way you have enough clay at the end if you need for all the steps. Okay, so excuse me, that's the idea here. Okay, so to start with, we are going to make a base for the Ganesha to sit on, right? So you have the plate, but we are also going to make a clay base for Ganesha to sit on. So to do that, take a small line-sized ball of clay. Again, if the clay is dry, I would say have the cup of water handy here, and then take a line-sized ball of clay here, like this much, right? And then make it into a nice ball, like really smooth ball. Just put it between your palms and then roll it around until it becomes a smooth ball. Okay, something like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put it on one palm and then press it down flat. You want to make it flat, the flat circle, or depends, right? Sometimes it might end up being an oval shape or a circle shape. Most of the times it might end up being an oval shape, so it doesn't matter. This is just a base on which for Ganesha to sit on, right? So you're going to basically make a flat surface for Ganesha to sit on, and then put it on top of the plate you have, and then just adjust it, make it flat enough. It's just a small base for Ganesha. So there is really, it doesn't have to be any shape or anything. As long as the Ganesha's body can fit on top of this, it's fine. So just put it like this. Just put it right in the middle of the plate. Okay. So as you're working on this, I'm going to do the second. As I said, I'm going to make a second one just so you can. If you have any questions, you can follow along. Hopefully, it will clarify questions that you might have. Right. So I'm still again doing the base for the Ganesha. Okay. So take the clay, make it into a nice nice ball. round ball. Make it into a nice round ball. Press it down flat. Press it down flat. So for those of us who are joining just now, all we're doing right now is making a base for the Ganesha to sit on. So take a lime-sized ball of clay and then press it down flat into a oval-shaped base. So something like that. And then put it on top of the plate. Okay, so that's step number one. So you're going to have something like this. Okay, just a base for Ganesha to sit on. Okay, so now we are ready to move on to step two. So step two is the body for Ganesha. Step two is the body for Ganesha. So the body, to make the body, I would say, it depends. Again, as I said, you have only a limited amount of clay. Unfortunately, the clay is not refillable. So make sure that you use. So in my case, I'm going to use. I'm going to take a little, like a medium lemon size ball of clay. So this is the size. I'm going to use this. Then I'm going to make it into a nice sphere, nice round ball. So use the water to smoothen out any cracks or things like that on the clay, right? Smoothen it, like, make it into a nice, beautiful spherical ball. So once you have a nice, round ball, just put it on top of put it in the center of the base here, right? So that's step number two. So keep it closed. Keep the bag of clay as closed as much as possible so you don't it doesn't dry out. So we're still working on the body. As I said, I'm going to make the second one here so people can follow along here. So take a small medium-sized lemon-sized ball of clay. And put it between your palms and then make it into a nice, beautiful round ball. Okay, so you should have a round ball and put it right in the center of the base here. Use water if needed to smoothen out any cracks and stuff. Okay. So at the end of step two, you should have a base and a body. Okay. Step three. So we're going to start with the legs first. For the legs, what we are going to do is we're going to make two identical carrot shapes. So to make the carrot shape, again, the size of the legs, it really depends on the size of the carrot will depend on the size of the body you have made, right? So to make a carrot, what you are going to do is you're going to take, in my case, like this, a plum size or a little small lime sized ball of clay. Okay. And then make it into a nice ball first, like this. Like this. And now we are going to take the hands like this. You're going to you're going to hold the ball in your palm like this, and take the other hand, put it like this, and you're going to move your hands back and forth, 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 vertically like this. So as you do this, what happens is the ball will elongate into like a carrot shape. Back and forth, back and forth. And you make the carrot long enough that it can wrap around the body that you have made from the back to the front. So I'm going to make it like this. So that's the carrot so far. And I'm going to show you how you can attach this, right? So let's say this is the back of Ganesha, and this is the other side is the front. So the side facing the camera is the back. So what you do is you take the thicker part of the carrot and put it in the back, like that, and lay it like that on the base, okay? And then you're going to hold it like this and then wrap the leg around to the front. So it will look like this. From the back to the front, it will look like this, okay? And then in the back, so if you see any cracks on the clay, just smoothen it out, right? And then what you're going to do in the back is just watch. And so what you're going to do is you're going to use 2 fingers, these 2 fingers, or these 4 fingers, and then press the clay into the body. Press the leg into the body. So you're basically attaching the leg to the body by pressing the clay like that. Okay? This is important because if you don't do this, the clay can, the leg can, if the clay dries, the leg can basically fall down. So make sure that the leg is really attached to the body with nicely. Okay, just press it down like that. And then in the front, what we are going to do, we're going to take your thumb and index finger, and then press the front tip with press it like this into a feet shape. So you can see that it's pressed flat, like a foot. So that's how you're doing the front. Okay? So what we'll do is we'll work on the other leg now, and then we'll follow the same thing again. So hopefully that will help you. So what we did is we took a small line-shaped sized ball of clay. Any unused clay, please make sure to put it back inside the Ziploc so it doesn't dry out. Make it into a nice circle, a nice ball. Here, make it into a nice ball, and then, as I said, hold it in your palm like this, and then use the other palm, put it between your 2 palms, and then move the hands back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like this. Make it go back and forth, and make it into a nice big carrot. As I said, remember the size of the carrot should be long enough to wrap around the body from the back to the front. And if there are any cracks, you can always smoothen them out like this. Okay, so once you have the carrot ready, again, as I said, so this is the back of the Ganesha. what you're seeing, that's the back. Take the thicker part of the carrot, put it in the back like that. Put it in the back like that, and then wrap the leg around to the front. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to press the clay, the thick clay into the back of the body. Okay, so you'll see like this. So attach it really nicely so the clay, so the leg doesn't fall off later on. Okay. And then in the front, as I said, you're just going to wrap it around, and then you're going to press the tip of the front into a feet-like shape. Like this. Okay. So take a little bit of water, and then if you have any cracks, you can smoothen it out. Okay, so that's what you should have so far. You should have a back like that and a front like that. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the process as you're working on it. As while you're working on it, I'm going to do the same thing on the other Ganesha. So if you have any doubts or anything, you can. Hopefully it will help clarify those for you. I'm going to make again 2 legs. So as I said, I have 1 ball here. I'm going to make a carrot like this. Make a carrot like that. And if this is the back, I'm going to put it like this, the back. I'm going to press it down, press it on top of, press it in the back, into the body. And then in the front, I'm going to, as I said, make something like a feet, the feet here. Just press it and make it a feet. And if you have any cracks, you just smoothen them out. Okay? We're going to do the other one. So here, I'm going to make the other one. Make a nice small ball first, and make it into a carrot. And then put it around the body, wrap it around the body, then attach it in the back. Nicely. And then in the front, you're basically going to create the foot by just like this, pressing like this. Okay. use water whenever you need to make sure that it's the cracks are all smoothened out. Okay. All right. So at this point, you should have a body and the two legs. And next, we are going to do the. Hopefully, the pace is good for you, and you're all able to follow along and make this so far. Next, we are going to move on to the hands. So we're going to make a Ganesha with two hands. The right hand, so the two hands are going to be in this position. The right hand is going to be like this on the right side, and the left hand is going to be like this, on the like this, just like this, on the left side. Like just we're going to put like a laddu or a modak on the left hand. So the right hand is like this, and the left hand is like this. To make the hands, the procedure is the same as you did for the legs, right? So you're going to make two carrots, identical carrots. The shape should be, the size should be, whatever is appropriate for the body that you've made. So try to take similar size balls of clay, right? And we're going to first start with the right hand. Okay. So to make the right hand, take like this a small plum, or even a really big grape like this. So take like this size of clay and make it into a nice ball. So we are making the right hand, and remember the right hand is going like this. So first, but for that, first you're going to still make the carrot. So you do this, you follow the same step, hold it like this, and then put it between the two palms, and then move the palms back and forth like this vertically, right? So this basically helps make the carrot into a nice you make a nice thin carrot here. Unfortunately, the clay is pretty dry today, so it is cracking up a bit. So I'm going to smoothen it out a bit. Maybe make the carrot again. By adding a little bit more water, I'm going to make the clay a little bit more wet. And then make the ball again. So you can do the same thing. If the clay is very dry, make it, and then you're going to make the carrot again. Okay. So once you have the carrot, so we are doing the right hand. So the right hand is going to be like this, right? So the thicker part of the carrot is going to go in the back. So we're doing the right hand. So the right hand is going to be on this side. So the thicker part of the carrot is going to go on the back like this. And then you're going to wrap it around and then just lay it on top of the leg. Okay, so like this. So you're just going to lay it like that. And then first, let's attach the back, right? So the attachment procedure is the same. So you press the clay down into the body from the back. And smoothen it out. And then the right side, and if you turn to the front, so the hand is like this, laying on top of the leg. So what you're going to do is you're going to bend it up. Like that. So you're going to bend it up like that, right? And then to make the palm, you use your thumb and index finger, and you're going to press it like this. Okay, so hopefully you have something like this at the end of this step, at the end of this. So you have the right hand, and it's going to look like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the right hand again for the other Ganesha, so you can continue working on the right hand. And as I do the second one, you can, if there's any questions, you can, hopefully it will help clarify that for you. So take a small or a big grape size ball of clay. Add a little bit of water if it's too dry, just to make sure that it doesn't, as you're making the thing, the carrot, it doesn't dry out too much. Put it in the palm between the two hands, and then move it like this. Right? And then you're going to make a carrot out of it. And then remember what I said, the thicker part of the carrot goes in the back, the thinner part of the carrot comes in the front. And then make it long enough to wrap around the body, right? So you're going to put the carrot in the back like this, right? And then you're going to wrap it around like this. And then you first attach the back. Always attach the back here. Okay. Attach the back, and then the hand is just sitting on top of the foot here. And then as you move to the front, you see here. So what we do is we bend the hand up like this. Okay, and then you're going to use your thumb and index finger and then press it to make the hand, actually. Yeah. The palm and the blessing hand. So that's how it should be. Okay, so that's the right hand, right arm. Okay, so at this point you should have the right arm done, hopefully. Okay, so 2 right arms are done. Now we're going to go to the left arm and the left hand. So remember, the left hand is going to be like this. It's going to be to the side with the hands cupped like this. So we can put a modak in the left hand at the end. So to do the left hand, remember these procedures are similar, right? The steps are the same. Basically take a big grape-sized ball of clay, make it into a carrot, and then have that ready. And then we'll see how to attach it and then make it into a. So make it into a nice ball. So this is the size I have right now. And next, what you're going to do is you're going to put it in your palm, and then going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Make it into a carrot. So you make that long enough to wrap around the body. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to attach it. So on the back, it's the same step. In the back, it's the same step. You're going to put it here in the back and then wrap the arm around to the front. Okay, and then first, as always, you attach the back. Press it down and attach it nicely. Press it down. And attach it nicely in the back. And then we're going to turn it to the front. And remember what we said, the hand is going to be like this, right? So again, you're going to make it like this by pressing down in the tip with your thumb and index finger. You're going to press it down like this into a nice cupping shape. So hopefully you're able to see the cupping shape here. Okay. So that's how you do the left hand. If it's a little bit big, you can always adjust the position so it doesn't wrap around too much, just so that it's on the side, okay? So these are adjustments you can make as you're doing the Ganesha. Okay, I'm going to do the other one, so you can, for the left hand for the other Ganesha. So you're going to do the left hand for the other Ganesha. You take this, put it like this, and then you're going to make into a carrot, and then you're going to attach it from the back and wrap it around to the front. Remember how we were doing this? We are going to first always press down the back here. If you have any cracks, just adjust them, fix them. And then the front, you're going to use your thumb and index finger. And then you're going to press it like this into the shape. Like this. Hopefully you can see that on the left hand, like there. Okay. So make sure all the parts are attached properly to the body, okay, at this point. The legs and the arms. And then smoothen out any cracks with a little bit of water. I'm going to give you a minute to finish the arms. And then next we'll proceed to the head and the trunk. Okay. All right. So the next step is to make the head for Ganesha, right? So there's no right size. You just have to find the appropriate size for the Ganesha that you're making. So make it proportional to the head, to the body that you've made so far. So in my case, I'm going to use this size. Let me show you. So it could be like a small line, this size, right? So you can use that. Make it into a nice, really nice round ball. Okay. So you're gonna make this. Okay. And you're going to put it on top of the Ganesha's body. Just smack on top here. Okay. So, okay. Sorry. So as you're working on this, I'm going to make the other one. Again, as I said, take whatever is appropriate for the Ganesha. Maybe if it's too big, you can adjust the size. If it's too, just whatever is just proportional to the body that you made so far. Then put it right on top of the body. Okay. All right. So hopefully you're done with the head. The next step is, we always traditionally put this thing. We put a small, the Yajnopavita for Ganesha. Yajnopavita is a thread, the sacred thread around Ganesha's body. So to make that, what you do is you take a really small, uh, the size of clay. Make it into a nice, nice ball first. Make it into a nice ball, and then what you're going to do is just thread it out. So what you do, the way to thread it is put it in between your hands, palms, and then if you just keep rolling it, it'll thread out into it'll turn into a nice long thread like this, right? So you can see that. Okay. So once you have that thread, what you're going to do is basically you're going to put one end of the thread on the left shoulder of Ganesha, as you can see, and the other end of the thread to the hip here on the right side. And then you attach the thread to the body. Make sure you attach press the clay down. Okay. So this ensures that the thread doesn't fall off, once the clay becomes dry, because it is going to become dry. And then do the same thing in the bottom here. Attach it to the body or the leg, whatever it is attaching to here. Okay. So you should have these. You should have a thread like that in front of the body. So, okay. So we'll do the same thing to the other Ganesha. Take a really small ball of clay. Okay. Then make it into a thin thread. Thin thread like that. Okay, and then put one end, the top here on the left shoulder, and then the other one on the bottom hip here, and then attach it to the body. Just smoothen out the clay here, and you should have a nice thread going around Ganesha's body. Okay. So at this point, we are ready to do the trunk. For the trunk, it's the step is very similar to what you did for the hands and the arms and the legs. So what you do is you take a small ball of clay. Again, use water if the clay is a little bit dry. I'm just using water to smooth, make the clay a little bit wet, so it doesn't crack up when I elongate it into a carrot. So the step is similar. You take a small ball of clay, and then you elongate it into a carrot. The length of the trunk is something you have to kind of experiment with, right? So first you elongate it into a small carrot. Then what you can do is you can basically put it on top of the head and then see. So the trunk is going to look like this. So if this is the face, the trunk is going to go down like this, and then it's going to wrap around and then come like this, and then on top of the hand that you have here. So it's going to go like this and then like this, right? So you need something that goes like this and then wraps around and goes like that from the face. So if you see here, I have the hand here. I have the hand here. So I need to make a trunk that's long enough to, to basically do that, right? So I want to show you how to attach the trunk. So first you put the trunk like this on top of the face. So like this, you can see this. You put the trunk like that. That's the front. Put the trunk like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use these two. You're going to hold the head with your thumb, and you're going to use these 4 fingers. And you're going to press the trunk into the head. So you can see the trunk is pressed into the head like that. So if you can see from the side like that, the trunk is pressed into the head. Okay, and then smoothen it out. And now you take the trunk, and then you're going to bend it like this. Remember what I said? You have to kind of determine the size of the trunk based on how much you have here. So if it is too long, you can always cut the end here and then make it a little bit shorter. So it's up to you. But you attach the trunk like that. Okay. So you can adjust the trunk like however you want it, and then make sure that it kind of fits in that place that you have for it. So I've done something like this here. I'm going to do another one, so I can show you again how this comes out. So remember what we did? We took a little bit of small or a big grape-sized ball of clay, or something like this size. Okay, and then make it into a carrot. First make it into a ball, and hold it like this, make it into a carrot. You don't have to make it too long. So the trunk is, depending on the size of the body, right? So now I have something this size, right? So I'm gonna, as I said, I'm gonna lay this on top of the face here. Lay this on top of the face here. And then I'm gonna hold the head with my thumb and then use these 2 fingers. I'm gonna press this down. And then you're going to bend the trunk like this. And then make all the, smoothen out everything where it kind of, if the clay starts to crack or something, use some water to smoothen out the clay. Attaching the trunk is probably the most difficult step in this whole thing. So please take your time. Hopefully you're able to do this, and it was easy enough to follow. So once you attach the trunk, it should be something like, you should have something like this. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute before we go on to the next step, so you can finish up that trunk. Again, remember that don't keep touching the Ganesha here and there, because what happens is the body heat, it takes the moisture out of the clay, and then it'll the clay will dry faster. So and then you start seeing cracks, right? So as we are done, and then if you have attached everything correctly, just leave it as is. Okay. I'm going to give you a minute to finish the trunk, and then we'll move on to the ears. Okay. So now for the next step, we're going to make the ears. For the ears, what we're going to do is we're going to take a small grape-sized ball of clay, a big grape rather. So like this, you're going to take a big grape-sized ball of clay, make it into a nice round. And then if you can, so what you're going to do is you're going to hold it in one palm and then press it flat. You're going to press it flat, press it into a nice flat thing, and then you're going to use your fingers, and then use your fingers to make it flatter and bigger, because these are going to be the ears. So try to maintain the oval shape, if you can, and then also as you're doing this, you're going to see cracks come. So you can use a little bit of water to smoothen out the cracks. So you're going to have something like this, a shape, you can say a leaf shape or an oval shape or egg shape. Okay, and then what you're going to do is, so first you're going to take this and put it behind the head of Ganesha, like this. Okay, you're going to put it like this. This is how it will look in the front, and then I'm going to show you the back. So in the back, you're going to put it right in the center of the head, here, in the middle. And then you're going to just attach the ear to the back. So you're attaching the ear to the back here. Okay. So the ears, you may see some cracks and stuff. Just smoothen it out with a little bit of water. So you'll see like this from the front. You're going to see like this. Okay, so that's one ear. What we'll do the second one. Same step, same procedure. You're going to take a small grape-sized ball of clay. So you're going to take a small grape-sized ball of clay, a big grape-sized rather, and then you're going to press it down into a flat surface, and then you're going to use your 4 fingers use like your 6 fingers, thumb and the 2 fingers, and then make it a bit bigger, elongate it. And the goal is to, and you have to try to keep it symmetrical to the other ear you've made so far, the other ear you made. Try, it's not, as long as it's similar in shape and size, that should be good. So again, smoothen out all the cracks. And then once you think you have something ready, you can try putting it here and then seeing how it looks from the both sides. Okay, as long as it looks similar, you just, as I said, from the back, you attach it in the center here, in the middle, and then you press it down. Okay, so once you press it down, if you turn it here, you should see this. Should have 2 ears, and like that, Ganesha. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to do the 2 ears. So if you have any, hopefully you're able to, also work on yours. If you had any questions, this should, hopefully clarify those questions. So take 2 big grape-sized ball of clay. Here. Flatten it out and then make it into a flat, big oval shape here. And then you're going to attach it to the Ganesha like this. See? This, you just attach it. Okay. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Here. Flatten it out. And attach it like this. Make sure that the ears are attached well to the head, otherwise they are at some point bound to fall. Okay. So you should have the 2 ears attached completely on the back, and this should how it should look from the front. All right, so at this point, we are almost there. The next step we are going to do is we're going to make the 2 tusks. So traditionally, we make the tusks, the left tusk would be a longer tusk, and the right one would be a little bit shorter. We're going to make something like that. We're going to follow the same thing. So to make the tusks, it's similar to what you did for the Yajñapavita, right? So so you're going to take a really tiny ball of clay, really tiny. I hope you can see this tiny ball of clay, and then make it into a small string. So make it into a small string. And we're going to use this for the left tusk. Remember, the left tusk is going to be a little bit longer than the right one. So we're going to use this for the left tusk. So the way you attach the tusk is you basically put it, you're going to attach it under the trunk. So you're going to go like here and then attach it. Make sure you attach it well so that it doesn't fall off. So this is how I have it. Hopefully you can see this. That's the left tusk. I've attached it to the underside of the trunk. Okay. So that's the left tusk. We're going to do a similar thing for the right tusk. We're going to take a really small ball of clay and really tiny, like this. Okay, like this. And then you're going to elongate it. So remember, this one is going to be a little bit shorter. It's like a cut off. It's cut. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take it. So I made it like this length. So you're going to take it and then you're going to attach it in the under the right side here. Okay. So you're going to attach those like that. So if the clay is dried, just make sure that you use a little bit of water to do this, but then don't use too much water. We'll make the left tusk a little bit again, so that because the clay was very dry. So this is the right tusk. You can see here. So make a So we're going to have that. I'll do the same thing again for the other Ganesha. Again, if the clay is very dry, it's better to not touch the clay too much, because if it can basically fall off. Or you can also, the other option is to make the tusk a little bit thicker. So it's easier to have, because if the thinner the thread, the faster it dries, and then it'll be hard for you to manipulate it. So you can even make thicker tusks, right? So we can try that and see how that comes out. So I'm going to try to make a thicker tusk here for this one. So I'm going to do the right one. I'm going to cut this into half, right? And then I'm going to attach it like this. Because if you think about it, the tusks are definitely thick, so we can make nice thick tusk for Ganesh. Okay, so this is what I have for this one. I made a thicker tusk, and it's easier to work with. So if we do that, that's the right one. And then since it needs to be a little bit short, I'm going to cut it. And then for the left tusk, we're going to make it a bit longer, right? So I made something like this, a little bit longer and thicker. And then we're going to attach it to the left side. Attach it under the trunk. Okay, so you can make a bit thicker and longer tusks. Okay. Okay. So hopefully you're done with the tusks at this point. Next, we are going to move on to the eyes. For the eyes, each of you should have received, as part of the packet, a small Ziploc with 4 black eyed peas. You should have this in your Ziploc, in your kit. So the idea is you choose 2 of them which are similar in size, which look similar, and then we're going to attach the eyes out of these. Okay. So choose 2 that are similar in size, and the way to attach the eyes is basically you have to find a spot where the head and the trunk meet, and you have to put them on the side. I'm going to attach 2 of these and then show you, so you can see where I've done it, and then you can do something similar. So I've done it like this. If you can see the 2 eyes, so I have one here and there. So let me move this. Let's move it to this side. Okay. So you can see that the two eyes are attached like this. So press the eyes into the clay, deep inside the clay, and the green and the black part is, both of them are facing front like this. That's how I've done it. So you can see that here. So try putting it, at this right symmetrically so that it looks symmetrical when you look at the Ganesha. Okay. So I'm going to do it on the other Ganesha here. Okay. Okay. So you can see I've done that here. Okay. So try placing them, symmetrically on both sides of the face. So at this step, your Ganesha is done. In the sense, you have a Ganesha at this point that is ready for your prayers, your puja. The next few steps are all additional. Like you can. There are lots of creative stuff you can do with the Ganesha at this point. You can make different types of necklaces and things like that. You can use some toothpick to make like the like this, the markings on the Ganesha, his forehead, the tilaks and stuff like that. You can do all kinds of stuff. Those things you can do. What we will do is we will make some simple crowns for Ganesha. To make the crown, I'm going to show you two different types of crowns. One is a simple, like a modak style crown. How we make modaks, not the round ones, but like the more, like the Hershey kisses kind of. If I can give that as an example. So what you do is you take a small, big grape-sized ball of clay, and then what you do is you make it into a nice round ball, and then you're going to use your like this, and then press it into a modak shape. So you flatten the bottom, and then you basically press the top into a pointy shape. If you have made modaks at home, you can, for the kids, you press the bottom base, and then you can make like a mountain kind of a thing. You can make something like this. So this is how it will look. And once you have this, you can basically put it on top of the Ganesha's head. So that's one style of crown that you can make for Ganesha. Okay, like a modak style crown. So that's one style. The second style you can do is you can make you're going to make like a 3-layered cake kind of idea, right? So what you do is you basically take a big ball, like a big grape-sized ball of clay, make it into a nice circle, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to press a little bit. So you're going to flatten it out a bit, not too much. Just flatten it out into like this shape. And then that you're going to put on top of Ganesha's head here. Okay? And then you're going to make 2 more like this, but progressively smaller. Just you make 1 more, which is a little bit smaller than the first one you made. You can also press it like this. You can make like, yeah. So the second one you're going to make a little bit smaller ball and then press it a little bit and then put it on top of the initials on the first one here. And the third one, you're going to take just a tiny ball of clay, like what you did for the tusks, like, a tiny ball like this. And then you're going to make it into a small circle. I'm going to put it right on top of the last one. So you have two different styles of crowns that you can make. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute to do the crowns. These are steps that are, you can continue working on the Ganesha. If you have enough clay left over, you can add a lot of other things. As I said, you can add a necklace. You can add other kinds of stuff to the Ganesha, right? So, but yeah, this is for the purposes of this workshop, we'll do the basic one here. Okay. Okay. At this point, if you have any cracks, you use a little bit of water to smoothen those out, and then see if everything is attached properly. But don't play with the Ganesha too much because it will dry out. So just if everything looks good, just leave it as is. All right. So the last two steps of this, we will finish off with making a small mushika for Ganesha, the Vahana. So to make the Vahana, we're going to make a simple one. You can make different shapes. It's a mouse, so you can make whatever way you want the mushika. For this workshop, we'll do a simple mushika. Take a big grape-sized ball like this. Okay. Take like this, and then what you're going to do is just make it into a small, just make it into an oval shape, like this, like an almond shape rather. Like make it into an almond shape, right? Make it into an almond. Take a grape-sized ball of clay and make it into an almond shape. And then for the face of mushika, what you're going to do is you're going to hold it like this and take your thumb and first index finger and press the one side of the one end of the almond flat. You're going to flatten out one end of the almond. Like this. So you're going to just flatten it out. And so this is like the face of the mushika. And then what you can do is you can use toothpicks to basically draw small eyes on each side. And then for the tail, what you're going to do is you're going to hold the mushika at the other end of the almond. And what you're going to do is you're going to basically you're just going to thread out the tail. Just thread it out. See if you can see, I'm just threading out the tail for mushika. Like that. So you have a very basic mushika that can sit in front of the Ganesha idol. Okay, so remember the steps. You took one ball of, like a grape-sized ball of clay, made it into an almond, and then pressed one end of the almond flat to make the face, and then you just threaded the other end of the almond into a tail. And then you can put that in front of Ganesha as mushika. Okay? So that's the mushika for you. And then the final step is, we want to make the modaks, right? So to make the modak, we are going to make a small bowl to keep the modaks, and then we'll make the small modaks. So to make the bowl, take a small big grape size ball of clay like this, right? Take a big grape size ball of clay, make it into a smooth round. Okay, so you should have a smooth round like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flatten it out by pressing it down. You flatten it into a flat surface. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use all your fingers, and then you're going to make it into a ball. Like this is also how you make modaks. The covering for the modak, you basically make it into a nice ball. So you should have a bowl like this, like a plate or a bowl, right? If you have any cracks or anything, just smoothen it out. Okay. And then once you have that, you can put this in front of the Ganesha, if you're Ganesha. Okay. And then you're going to make some small modaks, like, just, or laddus, or, we'll call it modaks. For that, you take a little bit of clay, like a grape-sized ball of clay, and you're just going to take tiny bits of clay from there, and then make it into a circle. So you're going to make like this kind of size, and then put it into the bowl. Also remember to put one in his hand. Remember we made, he was cupping his hand like that. We have that, just put it in his hand. Okay. Modaka Hasta, right? We have it in his name, Mushika Vahana Modaka Hasta. So we're going to put it in his hand like that. I'm just going to make like 3 or 4, like, let's say 5 modaks around the bowl. And then put it into the bowl. Okay. So we have all the stuff for the Ganesha. We have the, all the parts, the eyes, the ears, the legs, arms, the trunk, and the tusks, and the crown, and then the mushika, and then the modaka. At this point, we are done with the the Ganesha, and all the steps are done. Hopefully, you have you were able to finish along with us, and your Ganesha. I'm sure it has turned out really well. I'm going to. So So we've reached the end of the workshop at this point, and hopefully you all enjoyed making the Ganesha along with us, and um, um, we would like you to send a picture of the Ganesha that you made. We would like you to share a picture of the Ganesha that you've made. I think there will be an email with a link where you can upload the pictures. So the temple can post them in their online websites. And thank you. I would like to thank you all for joining me today for this workshop. And I also want to thank all the volunteers who worked tirelessly to to coordinate this whole virtual workshop. And thank you to Kumaraswamy Joshi ji for setting up this space to be able to do this workshop online, and all the volunteers who helped set up this workspace. Thank you all for joining, and we will finish the workshop with closing invocation by Kumaraswamy Joshi ji. Please share your feedback. We would love to know what your feedback, and if there are any things that you think that can be improved through in this process. We would love to hear your feedback. And as I said, please do share your pictures of your Ganesha Moortis with us. Thanks all. Thank you for joining, and hope you all have a wonderful day. Kumaraswamy Joshi ji will finish the session with a closing invocation.
Om Vandhe Vigneshwaram Devam Sarva Vignadhidaivatam Antaraya Nivrityartham Tvam Namami Gajananam. Dear devotees, thank you all of you for joining